EA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today it's live opening round coverage of the Pittsburgh Invitational. Hello again and welcome. Rich Lerner alongside my friend and colleague Frank Novola. We are back in the state of Pennsylvania getting set to kick off the round here at one of the great golf courses in the world, Oakmont Country Club. Frank, you're very familiar with it because you were right in the mix down the stretch at the 1994 U.S. Open right here at Oakmont.
And Rich, it's so good just to be back here. You know, there's so much history in Oakmont. It's been a host to so many prestigious tournaments in our sport, such as the U.S. Amateur, the U.S. Open, the Women's U.S. Open, and the PGA Championship. It's just one of the true gems on the golf landscape.
That appeared to be a good strike right there, Frank.
Oh, good. It's just towering. Look at that hanging in the sky.
Beautiful rhythmic swing right there and right down Peachtree. Frank, playing downhill, you always want to take less club. Go ahead and hit the ball a little harder.
Should be safely on deck.
On the green, and a chance for birdie here on the first hole. Boy, this could be a tough one right here, Frank.
It's a very long putt, Rich. Obviously, it's difficult, but he still has a shot to sink this one for birdie.
You couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it. And so just getting started, even par so far. Relatively short par 4, second hole. Frank, what's the right play off the tee here? It's probably not driver.
It certainly isn't. You need a decent yardage in for your second shot, so you don't really want to hit it past those last of the 6 bunkers on that right side. It leaves a shot of 100, 110 yards. There's another tee box a little further up where they can make it like drivable at 265 yards, but for such a short hole, this is sort of a fearsome one. You always feel like you're making a mistake when you're putting the ball on the tee.
Well, he's going to have to hit the same club a lot harder or just hit another one. He's knocked it on the green, but not in a great position. This is a difficult chance coming up here. Long birdie try. Frank, I'm not saying he should pull out driver here, but this is a long putt.
Greens are fast, though. You never know. Good line, good pace. Might have a chance.
So a long putt there and just didn't read it quite right. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. Frank, this game will drive you crazy.
Yeah, you can do so many things right, and then just something so simple, completely wrong.
So with that, 1 over par. Third hole's a par 4. Again, it's 428 yards, but Frank, we look out to the left and we can see there's nothing quite like the third at Oakmont.
Well, the church pews certainly might look beautiful from our point of view, but they really shrink the hole down, or the landing area, because not only the pews on the left side, but a bunch of bunkers on the right. You can see the tee shot plays a little downhill, but it funnels in so closely together that more often than not we'll see players hit long irons off the tee here.
U.S. Opens are often won with precision irons. Let's see what our player does here on the second at number 3. Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
But still not done. A good third shot, maybe get away here with par.
And he's made the green. Just 5 feet left. Been a little too much of that, Frank, just sort of ho-hum pars. Back over now to the 4th. It has not gone all that well early in the round for our featured golfer. What do they need to do, Frank, to turn this thing around?
Well, you can't dwell on what's just happened. There's plenty of holes ahead. Look at the scorecard, par 5s to play, things like that. Really pick apart this golf course. There's going to be plenty of opportunities around the corner. I've seen some long tee shots, but it's the advantage to tee that ball up. Get it up there quickly, get the wind behind you. It's amazing how far you can hit it.
On the green, Frank, but might need a pair of binoculars to see the hole.
You're a long way from the band. You can barely hear the music from that far away.
This is a long putt. Really, the key is the speed. If it drops, that's a bonus. Always two components to the long lag putt, the speed, number 1, and then the read, and missed out on that second part.
A few more birdies like that, which, you never know, just might sneak place on the podium.
In the top 10 right now. We're at the 5th hole now. Short hole, but Frank, pretty challenging even at 382 yards.
Yeah, you've got the bunkers are staggered. The first 3 coming down the left side, and then they start to link up with the ones on the right side that just sort of narrow this fairway up. It just sort of changes the strategy. But if you can just sort of thread an iron up there, that's the main thing. Because this green is going to be very narrow in the front and then slope away to the player's left.
A great way to start a hole, nicely placed in the fairway. Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag. Oh, solid strike right in the heart of the green.
And it makes the green in regulation. And this would be nice. 2 straight birdies. Oh my gosh, that hurts. Oh man.
I just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. Has this one for par.
Well, for such a strong man, weak putt.
Now I'll have to make this just to avoid making Michael Dublé. Nudge this one home, finish it up. So that's a bogey, and now to 1 over par for the tournament. Par 3 6th here at Oakmont. Frank, it's changed a bit since you played here in the U.S. Open back in 1994.
Yes, it has, Rich. They used to have a bunker behind the screen, sort of back left. They've removed that now and actually increased the back of this green. I'm not going to say it makes the hole that much easier. It just gives them a few more places to cut a flag when they choose to stick it in the back.
Frank, this one's not looking good.
Yeah, certainly not down the fairway line, heading toward the rough.
You have to think he'll be happy with that, given that it looked like it was headed right for the rough.
Yeah, it looked like that was the only place it was going to finish. But, well, it's a little bit unexplainable. Let's see what he does from here now. Lucky break.
Well, there's an opportunity wasted.
Just knock it in for a par, and let's forget about this one. Golf is not about perfect, but it is going to hurt the cause.
So continues to play some solid golf.
Yeah, so often, Rich, we just focus at the very top of the leaderboard. Really, there's so much talent and depth in this championship.
And we've come to the par 4 7th. It is 434 yards. Beautiful looking shot right here. It is always easier to play it from the short grass, and that is where he has been all day. Just laser-like off the tee. Hasn't missed a fairway. This is a good-looking shot. Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on there. Easy birdie.
Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. Good job right there. Now making a move and setting himself up for, who knows, a good weekend run, maybe at another title. the former college standout, has been excellent today. He pays a price for that.
Yeah, when you don't see the top of the ball in the rough, you know it's not sitting pretty. You'll need a bit of force to extract one out of there.
Second shot coming out of the rough here.
Great shot out of the rough. He avoided all the troubles just to get that on the green.
That was not an easy shot. He'll settle. Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either.
Dwindling the holes down. Pars are fine right now.
Here we are at the ninth, par 4, 477 yards. Frank, this is a rugged hole.
It is. It used to be a par 5. Some say it should still be a par 5. Long, straight hole. Runs alongside the first hole there. Bunkers left and right. And he goes after it like he is here. Woo, that is long.
That is a really good tee shot right there, Frank.
I think that tipped the 300-yard mark.
Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
Seems to like it. Headed for the fat part of the green. Chance to close out the front side here with a birdie. He'll have 17 feet on this putt. Well, Frank, it's our job to get excited.
You can't when you leave it short, though.
I'm sad.
He's making my job hard.
Locked in on the read and the speed. Oh, I thought he had that. That's costly right there.
Painful. Even par, currently. I don't think a tourniquet is going to work after that one.
Tough to watch. Take a look now at the 10th hole, Frank. Par 4, 462 yards.
Yeah, this one can play a lot of different distances. And the reason why is if you can sneak a driver to catch the downslope, it can run all the way down. You can aim just a wedge in here. If you're not as fortunate and you leave it hanging up on that hill, it plays a good 200 yards for your second.
That is tasty looking right there, Frank. Just a perfect spot in the fairway.
That is prime real estate. How do you get a lie like that? Seriously, you could hit any club from there.
Superb shot.
That's as good as it's going to get. There's going to be no worries about making that one.
That was a nice birdie, and no doubt he's feeling pretty good about his position on this leaderboard.
A series of good holes in a row has got him to this point.
So that ball nestles down in the rough. Just got away a little bit on that tee ball. Second shot coming out of the rough here.
Well, he's taking the right side out of play, Rich. It looks a little left.
Coming out of the rough, not able to control it the way he wants. How about that shot right there from that lie in the rough to knock it that close? That's good. Getting set now over the putt.
That was cruel. That looked like it was certainly going in.
Good try, just didn't quite read the break, Frank.
It shouldn't be a problem, you'd think, cleaning up here for par.
Hard-fought par right there. Well, Frank, the par 5 12th here at Oakmont, it's a lot of golf hole at 667 yards.
It's the hardest par 5 I've ever seen or played that doesn't have water. It starts with that tee shot. The whole fairway slopes left to right. Just to get the ball on the fairway, you've got to draw the ball against the slope. The same problem exists with the second and the third shot.
He just blasted that one down the fairway. Out there about 325 yards. Now from a good position in the fairway, his second shot. Certainly had enough power, just didn't have any touch. He'll need to be strong with this. Perfect, and in the hole. What a shot. Pushing our way into this back nine, we arrive at the par 3 13th. It's 183 yards. Frank, not just a player, but an artist. Just beautiful work right there.
The only thing I can say, Rich, is that was Seve-esque.
Shouldn't be a problem here. Man.
I just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. Wow, that's disappointing. Chance to get too deep on one hole, and you leave it short.
Well, the good thing is he didn't miss it, right? It didn't go past and miss. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We'll never know.
Okay. Still has a chance for birdie, too. Bad news is, Frank, that's a bogey, but the good news, still has the lead.
Yeah, can't afford another, though.
14, pretty short par 4 at 358 yards. Frank?
Get the ball in play here, and certainly your best opportunity for birdie on the second 9 so far.
Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
Appears to be what they call a commercial play. Very solid. You can't ask for much more than that. About 5 feet away. Beautifully done. Well, there's an opportunity wasted.
Just knocking him for a par, and let's forget about this one. Golf is not about perfect, but it is going to hurt the cause.
Steady, solid, and at 1 under par right now. Well, how about this hole, Frank? 499-yard, par 4 15th, all you want.
Oh, that's for sure. The church pews down the left. It's about 340 yards to get all the way past them, so that's not really an option. Bunkers down the right side, really, they tell you, you've got to somehow hit something in between both of those. And the reason why it's another fairway you want to hit is a long second shot. It's a little uphill to a green. Yeah, well, just like all the others, is going to take something special.
Outstanding tee shot.
Yeah, ball sitting up. You don't have to worry about the wind or anything there. You just take a full-blooded cut at the second shot from here.
Really good distance control there, playing well to his strengths. And getting ready for the putt. Wow, that hurt.
It did. Shot gone forever.
Just a couple of feet. One under on the day. Frank, this is a point in the round where you really need to summon your best stuff. par 3 of 231 yards. You know the pressure's building. We're at the 16th hole. And you have a long iron in hand. You can't flinch. You can't take it halfway back and go. This has to be the complete swing, and you have to really have the nerve on this shot.
Yeah, this shot has to be hitting right out of the button, that's for sure. One thing to consider, though, in the back of your mind, it's always better putting back uphill. Well, uphill is actually from the back of the screen. So you actually can be a little braver on 16 than what you might think standing on that tee, because a little long is better than a little short.
That one ends up in the rough.
That went sideways.
Ball sitting down here in the rough. He's digging in. Makeable putt right here, currently sitting at 1 under for the round. Time to regroup, Frank.
A little slip. Have to recover. Bogeys aren't the worst.
Frank, here we are at the 17th. It's only 313 yards. That's par 4, by the way. Nowadays, that could be a par 3. What's the right way to play this hole, or does it simply depend on where you are in the championship?
I think it depends on where you are in the championship. Sometimes people try and hit drivers at drivable par 4s. Believe it or not necessarily to make birdie, but it's the easiest option to make 4. One of the problems here at 17, if you do lay it up and the flag is on the right side, you turn it into a very, very difficult short par 4. And that's the reason why people often try and drive these greens.
Chance for birdie after that beautiful shot.
Sneaks that in. We're now tied.
Great finishing hole here at Oakmont, Frank, the 18th.
I remember back in 1994, this was the last hole in a U.S. Open ever played by Arnold Palmer. You couldn't pick a better finishing hole to win a championship or say farewell.
He has just hammered this drive here at the 18th, and now he is in a really good position to make a birdie here on the final hole.
Should be safely on deck.
Oh, can't hide the flagstick from that man. He has this for a birdie. So they get it to 2 under with that birdie. Frank, you surprised to see that name on top of the leaderboard?
I am surprised to see the name, but not that style of golf leading. It was great performance, especially tee to green. You don't often see people start that quickly.
EA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live second-round coverage of the Pittsburgh Invitational. And hello again and welcome. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo. We're at Oakmont Country Club in western Pennsylvania. Frank, the site of so many historic moments. Great players have made their mark here. Sam Snead, Ben Hogan, Jack Nicklaus, Ernie Els, a long and distinguished list.
Oakmont, if it's not the most difficult golf course in North America, Rich, it's certainly one of the most difficult golf courses. With its 210 bunkers, really personified by the church pews, the hard and slick greens that slope away from the player and the tight fairways. This golf course always requires the utmost precision.
Paying attention like a little kid at school, Frank. That baby's sitting up.
Sitting up. It's got the best view as well. You don't even need binoculars from where that ball is.
Down, little Sheba. Down! Frank had hit the green, but just didn't have enough backspin.
Yeah, you wonder what he's thinking on that.
So, Frank, just from the fringe, what's the best way to hit this shot?
The best players with chip. This is going to be risky, though. I don't know if he's got the skill. Oh, that was solid, Rich. This one's safely on.
This one just requires a little bit of focus. Missed putt and a drop shot here at the 10th. Bad news is, that's a bogey. The good news, still tied for the lead.
Yeah, he's the only one disappointed. The rest of the field aren't. Made it a real cat fight.
Pretty short hole here at the 11th. It's only 379 yards, par 4.
Great Bobby Jones used to say the hardest shot in golf's the next one. Judging by that light, it's not going to be too hard.
Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special. This looks like it's going to find the target.
Superb shot.
It's as good as it's going to get. There's going to be no worries about making that one.
You'd love to get this one. Big putt for birdie. Has it, now sitting at 2 under par for the tournament. Well, the par 5 12th here at Oakmont is no cupcake. It measures in at 667 yards.
Rich, there's great drivers of the ball. We've seen Norman, Nicholas over the years, but that there is just excellent. Lovely full turn, plenty of power, and just piped it.
Made it look easy right there, and he's such a good-looking player. When he's dialed in, swinging the way he is right now, just a pleasure to watch. Into the thick stuff, that's a difficult lie. He'll need to be strong with this.
Repetitive is often sounds boring. This is just shot after shot, and it's anything other than that. Spectacular.
Frankie took plenty of time on this birdie putt. He looked at it from 3 different angles. He forgot one very important ingredient.
Yeah, pace. You can definitely fall in love with the line, even with approach shots as well, but obviously we see it more on putting.
That's good work. That's a good par right there. Here at the par 3 13th, we're ready to tee off. It's 183 yards. Should be pretty good right there. On the safe side. That's good stuff right there. Wonderful approach, and now a really good look at birdie. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. Well, you can't make them all. You'd like to, but you can't. This would give him the par. Par here's fine, isn't it, Frank? .14, pretty short par 4 at 358 yards. Frank?
Get the ball in play here, and certainly your best opportunity for birdie on the second 9 so far. Game's about rhythm. When you have good rhythm, it just looks effortless. To hit the ball 300 yards through the air, that easy.
Frank, that ball's sitting up like it's on plush carpeting.
Rich, if you and I had lies like that every time, we'd still be playing this game for a living.
Midway through this back 9, could use this birdie here at the 14th. Birdie putt coming up. Had a bogey on this hole yesterday. That had to really hurt, Frank, because it looked good all the way.
Well, this will test his mettle.
Didn't fare too well on this hole yesterday. Made a bogey. That's how you maintain momentum. Make those putts for par. Well, how about this hole, Frank? 499-yard, par 4 15th. All you want.
Oh, that's for sure. The church pews down the left. It's about 340 yards to get all the way past them, so that's not really an option. Bunkers down the right side, really, they tell you, you've got to somehow hit something in between both of those. And the reason why it's another fairway you want to hit is a long second shot. It's a little uphill to a green. Yeah, well, just like all the others, is going to take something special.
Ends up in the first cut, and he'll have a pretty good look at the hole location from here. Well, that's what the great ones do. From the rough, they use their skill and their strength to get it out and get it close. Now this for birdie came away with par in the previous round.
Really solid stroke.
So all the scores have been posted for round number 2, and look who is on top of the leaderboard, Frank.
Yeah, with 2 very solid rounds of golf. Key right now, just stay out of your own way and keep it up. The pressure will start to build. We know that as you get closer to the end of this tournament.
EA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today it's live third-round coverage of the Pittsburgh Invitational. It is one of the most difficult golf courses in the United States. Oakmont Country Club outside Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Hello again and welcome. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo, who was a part of that dramatic U.S. Open in 1994 at Oakmont, ultimately won by Ernie Els. Frank, when you think of Oakmont, what comes to mind?
The difficulty of the golf course, Rich. I know a lot's changed over the last 20 or so years. A lot of the trees have been removed. But really, that wasn't the story of Oakmont. It's the slick greens, how firm and fast they can be. The members there, for example, they marvel at the fact that people think they're fast. They say we putt on these greens every single day, and they're certainly no slower. But it's the bunkering as well. There's 210 bunkers here. They're all in play. And it just has that history. When you step on Oakmont, you just know you are walking on not one of the great courses in North America, but one of the great courses in golf.
It's nice to roll in a 25-footer now and then. Those feel good. But still, there's nothing like hitting that perfect tee ball. Long and straight.
Yeah, you can puff out your chest, last to play, the advantage, holes shorter. Basically, the list goes on.
Appears to be what they call a commercial play. Very solid. Nice play right there. That's in pretty close. Made par yesterday. this one for birdie. Count that for a birdie. Frank, the par 3 eighth, it will take a player's very best strike.
Yeah, it's not often you see the odd driver come out of the bag, but when a hole can be stretched out to close to 300 yards, then everybody in the field needs some heavy artillery. It's a big, long par 3. Green does feed a little bit to the left, but at that distance, no hole is easy.
Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
Well, that one didn't work out. Didn't look bad in the air. It hit the green, but didn't sit.
Yeah, it was never going to stop.
Great knees, great hands in this shot.
Yeah, touch. You have to have that feel. You have something between the ball and the club face, so it's a different feel, but you also have to have imagination.
And it is in.
Amazing. Amazing.
Here we are at the 9th, par 4, 477 yards. Frank, this is a rugged hole.
It is. It used to be a par 5. Some say it should still be a par 5. Long. It's gone for a little extra. Long and straight.
That's how you do it. I mean, he just blasted it down the fairway, well over 325 yards. Challenging shot now from 180 yards. Well, no other way to say it, Frank. That's just an awful shot.
Bad.
Did the job right there. Well, that was a nearly flawless performance on the front side, but Frank, we know it's an 18-hole game, isn't it?
That's right. Now's not the time to pat yourself on the back.
In the fairway here at the 10th, nice way to start off the back nine. Frank, what are we looking at here with the second shot at the par 4 10th?
Once again, if you could hit something high and soft, maybe with a little bit of a cut, just to land softly on this putting surface. Everything slopes away from the front right of the screen.
Well, this one should be safely on deck here. Early part of this back nine and a good approach shot. Now we'll have this for birdie. See if he can go one better than yesterday when he made par. This putt for birdie. Good try, just didn't quite read the break, Frank.
It shouldn't be a problem, you'd think, cleaning up here for par.
Getting set now over the putt. Good effort and good par putt. Moving on to the 11th hole here at Oakmont, par 4, 379 yards. We moved that one out there, but he is not going to like the lie.
That moved down in the rough.
Second shot from 100 out. How good was that, Frank, from the rough?
Oh, that's amazing. That's a masterclass in short game.
Different day, different hole. Made bogey yesterday. He'll do better this time, it looks like. Goes to 6 under par for the tournament. What a display of golf. Well, Frank, the par 5 12th here at Oakmont, it's a lot of golf hole at 667 yards.
It's the hardest par 5 I've ever seen or played that doesn't have water. It starts with that tee shot. The whole fairway slopes left to right just to get the ball on the fairway. You've got to draw the ball against the slope. The same problem exists with the second and the third shot.
Nice drive, right in the fairway, and a good swing on that one. Now the second shot to the par 5. Didn't check, Frank.
Yeah, just not enough spin on that, really. I mean, that almost like took that first bounce and just ricocheted forward.
Frank, this ball's in the rough. You like to hinge just a little bit quicker on the takeaway when the ball is down like this?
No, when it's down, you've just got to make sure that you wind up almost like you're hitting a tee shot. This is not one to be dallied with. You've got to hit it powerfully, and you really have to focus on that club getting through the grass, past the ball, and out the other side.
Safely aboard. Birdie try again here today. Had a nice birdie on this hole yesterday. Frankie took plenty of time on this birdie putt. He looked at it from 3 different angles. He forgot one very important ingredient.
Yeah, pace. You can definitely fall in love with the line, even with approach shots as well, but obviously we see it more on putting.
Good roll. Solid. That's a par. Frank, that front page of the leaderboard has been looking good all week.
You're exactly right, Rich. I think our winner is certainly going to come from that list right now. I'm excited for tomorrow's final round.
EA Sports and the PGA Tour
proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live final round coverage of the Pittsburgh Invitational. Hello again and welcome. Rich Lerner alongside my friend and colleague Frank Novola. We are back in the state of Pennsylvania getting set to kick off the round here at one of the great golf courses in the world, Oakmont Country Club. Frank, you're very familiar with it because you were right in the mix down the stretch at the 1994 U.S. Open right here at Oakmont.
And Rich, it's so good just to be back here. You know, there's so much history in Oakmont. It's been a host to so many prestigious tournaments in our sport, such as the U.S. Amateur, the U.S. Open, the Women's U.S. Open, and the PGA Championship. It's just one of the true gems on the golf landscape.
Great strike and a great result. Sitting up, good chance to attack the flag. Frank, deep into a final round of the U.S. Open at Oakmont. This approach shot at 15, this is where you really need to be focused.
You do. The front third of the green slopes back towards the front right of the green. Then everything in the middle starts to kick towards the right and then the back. So it's a case, like so many other greens here, of using the slopes in your favor. So pick the right club, try and adjust, and, well, in the back of your mind, allow for the amount of roll that the ball's going to take when it hits the green.
So a tester from 4 feet.
You'd like that one again.
Came to the putt, excited to make birdie. Now, settle for par.
Yeah, a little change in the attitude right now. When you've let one go, you've got to really knuckle down there and make sure you don't drop a shot. It's important that this one goes in.
Nothing wrong with that par putt. 1 to 16 now, a 231-yard par 3. Frank, this one's offline.
There's rough and thick stuff over there.
Pretty good result right there, considering
it looked rough all the way.
Exactly.
Rich, it really did.
Frank, I'm not saying he should pull out driver here, but this is a long putt.
Greens are fast, though. You never know. Good line, good pace. Might have a chance.
Looks like he just misread that.
Now it's at sneaky distance.
Well, that's just a poor putt, Frank, and now let's hope he doesn't make a Michael Bublé.
He's hardly going to be singing after that one.
Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. Bad news is, Frank, that's a bogey, but the good news, it still has the lead.
Can't afford another, though.
Now on to the 17th hole, and Frank, in so many ways, this determined the outcome of the 2007 U.S. Open. Jim Furyk had his issues here. It's just 313 yards, but it can really play with a player's mind.
It's such an unusual par 4 for a U.S. Open, plus also where it comes in the round, because the options, and there's only really two, is like a 4 or 5 iron, you sneak it up the right side, or you take a driver directly at the green. You would think there's something in between, but really there isn't. And that's why, to your point, it stopped Jim Furyk, it stopped Tiger Woods, it allowed Cabrera to win. It also helped Ernie Els, who went with the driver option there back in 1994. So 17, it's short, it's tempting, it is at a US Open, but it is still demanding.
Frank, out of the rough, best to swing a little bit easier or get after it with all you have?
Well, a little bit in between. Obviously, it's going to require a little bit of strength to make sure that club keeps going through, but it's still the planning of the shot. Once again, check short, is there anything I have to carry? And even, remember, there's always the option of just simply pitching the ball down the fairway and taking your medicine.
Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on there. Easy birdie.
Made par yesterday, this one for birdie. This is a pretty good performance right here. 6 under for the tournament. Great finishing hole here at Oakmont, Frank, the 18th.
I remember back in 1994, this was the last hole in a U.S. Open ever played by Arnold Palmer. You couldn't pick a better finishing hole to win a championship or say farewell.
That appeared to be a good strike right there, Frank.
Oh, good. It's just towering. Look at that, hanging in the sky.
Good contact, good result. Frank, golf may be the best sport to follow from this standpoint. You can get closer to the great athlete in golf than you can in any other sport. You could stand 5 feet from Tiger Woods at a tee box as he's getting ready to drive. I mean, that's really unusual in sports.
Yeah, it's a different type of spectator sport, especially if you follow your favorite player all the way around the golf course. Because it's not like waiting for your favorite hitter in a baseball game. You know, you've got to wait several innings. You can literally see him hit every single shot, drive through the putt.
Locked in on the read and the speed. Very well done. Almost made it.
Yeah, there'll be no stress for the next one.
Good work right there. He'll settle for par. Just a fantastic week of golf. Add that one to the win count.
A lot of great quality players out. Great accomplishment.